So I don't really have anything in specific to speak about in this video. However, I wanted to get on camera anyway because I wouldn't want to upset Mr. Algorithm. You know how it goes. YouTube loves consistency. And with consistency comes dedication and focus and lots of research. Or that's what consistency requires. When you're a one-man show, which in my case, I don't have a team. I don't have anyone scripting for me or editing or helping me film or generate ideas. Therefore, I do A to Z by myself, and I do have a part-time job. It's just one of those days where my mind is all over the place. And it's been like this for a while. I've just been fighting it with every inch of my being. There's just so much going on in the world. And I'm not just talking about my personal life, but in the world around us. I follow politics because I think politics influence every single thing in our life, more or less. We have no choice. We're governed by that. I find it shapes everything in society. I like to be aware of things going on around me. With all these wars going on, tariffs, at least where I live, it's been crazy. Lack of certainty. Everyone's kind of worried about what's going to happen next, whether you live in a country of war or a country where everything is so economically unstable. It's just been hard to focus. You know, where I live, the price of living has more than doubled in the past few years. Everything is just so expensive, and it feels like it gets more expensive by the month. Wages are not increasing accordingly at all. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. Even if if you're well off financially, everyone is taking the hits. It's just hard to stay focused. On top of that, I can't always do YouTube. Like I can't have a schedule for myself for YouTube. I can't say I'm blocking this day and this day for filming and then this day and this time for editing and posting and all that, because I do have a part-time job that I do from home, and that takes up quite a bit of my time. And when I have things to work on that job, I mean, I have flexibility with time, but I still have to do work within a certain amount of time, right? So, and since that's my guaranteed source of income, I have to give it priority. So when I do have to work on my job, I have to push YouTube aside in the meantime. Because of my job, it's harder for me to keep consistent. That's my number one stumbling block. And another thing is that, for example, this is a classical example right now. I thought that I had already filmed my video. About an hour and a half ago, I was filming this video. The first part is okay, but I continued on and I filmed the whole video. I was so happy. It went so nicely, so smoothly. And I was actually able to finish it faster than usual, but I wanted to check on something in one of my videos, and I realized I was talking like this. I was on mute. The microphone wasn't working. And then I checked my previous video on the one before and the one before. Microphone isn't working on all of the clips that I filmed, except for the first one, which is the intro. Ah, Lord. I was like, oh, wow, I just spent 30 minutes talking, for nothing. So I had to delete those videos, and then I tried my other microphone and it was dead. The battery was dead too on both microphones. So I had to charge this microphone right here, and I currently have the second one plugged in as well. It's not completely full, so I'm hoping it lasts through the videos. So that's another stumbling block. I usually do charge my microphones once a week, but this week I forgot. I completely forgot something. It's my bad. But it happens, right? It's another thing that happens in life. So here I'm back and I'm trying to finish this video. That's another stumbling block in my journey of consistency, or in my goal of consistency on YouTube. We often don't talk about these things a lot. I'm sure you can relate. Have you ever been in a position where you thought you filmed yourself, but then you realized that you never pressed on record? Yep, I've done that as well. But now this is the first time that I film an actual complete whole video, almost from beginning to end, and it was on a microphone that's not working, so the clips were mute. Moving on. Another thing that gets in the way of consistency is the fact that I have very limited amount of time to work on YouTube and to do my part-time job. I usually do that in the morning. Those things, is that's when my daughter does her studying, does homework. And like I said, either she does it here at home with me or she goes to my parents. Like today, she's at my parents. And that's when I film my best, because I'm not restricted and I'm not interrupted, although she doesn't interrupt me too much. But anyway, so I only have about 2 hours. And it's hard to squeeze in 2 hours where you got to film, especially if you want to batch film. And I tried to batch film, but the past couple weeks I haven't been able. I've been filming every other day because in order to have my 3 videos for the week, and since I can't batch film because I never have enough time. So it makes it hard and stressful because I film, edit, and post in the same day, and that takes a lot of work and a lot of time. My daughter comes home at like 2 p.m., which is in about an hour from now or an hour and a half. And I like that when she comes home, I like to be free and I like to spend that time for her since the morning she's not with me and she's studying and I'm working. But this is hard because my husband leaves the house at 11 a.m. That leaves me with barely 2 hours because I eat at 12ish and then I make a smoothie after eating because I don't have a big lunch. And then the smoothie takes time to make, believe it or not. Anyway, and then my daughter comes home at 2 p.m. She's timed. She refuses to come later than that. 2 p.m. she's home. So that doesn't leave me with much time. At best, 2 hours. And I got to eat in those 2 hours. Therefore, I'm very, very limited on time. Super limited. And by the end of the day, I'm honestly expired. I have no more energy. There's no way I'm going to film in the evening. I just cannot do it. I don't have the energy to talk. Plus, I don't have natural lights and my ring lights. I have two of them. I don't find them good. I give up on them. So I depend on natural lights. So throughout this video, I've had sun and now it's cloudy again. And Lord knows if it's going to get sunny again. So forgive me if the lighting changes throughout the video. I can't control nature. However, in spite of all of that, I do want to continue with being consistent on YouTube because look, I have a strategy, believe it or not. I do have a strategy. I have a vision in mind. I know a lot of people don't like to niche or to niche down because they want to talk about whatever they want and good for them. This is actually really fun when you are able to talk about whatever you want or whatever's happening in life with you because truly if you want everything can be content, like everything that happens in life could be content. You could go out in public and bump into someone and then a story could come out of this and there's your content. But it's hard to use all that as content when you have a niche. When you have a niche, you have to stick to it, right? You have to always publish content that is related to your niche one way or another, or you have to package it in a way and make it relevant to your niche somehow. Sometimes we can do that, but it's not always possible. And I want to have a niche and stick to it because I find it easier to grow like that. When we don't have a niche and we're posting all kinds of different content, we're confusing the algorithm, and then YouTube doesn't know who to send our videos to. The algorithm will not know who our viewers are, and therefore it's not going to go very far because they're going to probably show it to an audience who's not interested in our videos, and therefore they're not going to watch. I always compare the algorithm to a baby. We have to feed the baby. We have to change their diapers. We have to raise them. We have to teach them right from wrong. We have to tell them what to do, what not to do. We even teach them how to walk and how to talk and all that stuff. The algorithm is the same way. When we're starting a new channel on social media or on YouTube, the algorithm is a baby. It's like our little baby. We just gave birth to the baby when we started our channel. Therefore, we have to train it. We have to to spoon food the algorithm all about our channel. Who are we? Who's our target audience? So that YouTube will know who to show our videos to. But if we don't have a niche, we can't train YouTube, and therefore YouTube is going to be confused. And therefore, we're going to have slow growth. We're not going to have a lot of views, and we might never get monetized. I know some people have been monetized without a niche, and I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's just harder. And for me, that's why I prefer to stick to a niche. That's making it harder for me because, like I mentioned before, I feel like my niche does not have a big audience. Whenever I look up topics that I want to discuss related to my niche, for example, I don't know if you know what my niche is. I believe I've mentioned it in a couple of my videos, but I'll say it again. My target audience are women who are preferably introverted or maybe even shy, who would like to venture into something, who are passionate about something, but are too afraid to start it. In my case, it was YouTube. So generally, it would be women who want to start social media or YouTube, but they're too afraid, they're too shy, they think they're not good enough. They find it hard to get out of the comfort zone. They're scared of failure, they're perfectionists like me because this is my journey and I have a lot to share when it comes to this because I've been going through this for the past 2 years, even longer, but more specifically with me wanting to do social media, more specifically even YouTube for the past couple of years. but I was always too afraid. And right now I'm not afraid anymore. I started the hardest was my first video. I was even introduced myself as Petrified Christy because I was so scared and self-conscious and all that. But right now I love it. I'm truly enjoying it, and I feel like I'm talking to myself, or actually I feel like I'm talking to my best friend. This is why like it comes naturally to me at this point. But I still struggle with topics because, like I mentioned earlier, whenever I try to find topics that I feel like are relevant to my niche, I don't find a big search volume on that on YouTube. And I wouldn't want to create and post videos that are just for me, to satisfy me. I already know all that information. I'm just sharing my journey because I want to be helpful to you who is going through the same thing, who is wanting to advance, who is wanting empowerment as a woman, whether it's a stay at home mom or not. But you don't have enough confidence, you don't have enough clarity, maybe, and you think you can't do it. Believe me, you can do it. This is my niche, this is my target audience. Now, I don't know if I've done a very good job teaching my baby algorithm about it. I don't think I have. But in part, it's because, like I mentioned earlier, whenever I get a topic that I want to talk about, I look it up on YouTube and there's never videos on that. Am I this unique? Tell me, seriously, am I the only introvert like that who wants to be out there and wants to get out of her comfort zone? I actually already got out of my comfort zone, but am I the only person in those shoes? Because truly, if there's no audience for this, then it would be not very smart of me to stay in this niche, because then my videos are not desired. So what's the point? It's a lot of pressure always having to come up with ideas and topics that not only interest me, but are also of interest for the audience. And I always want to give value. I never want to sit here and just give love. I truly like to give value, and it's only valuable if you are interested in the topics. Otherwise, it has no value. I've realized YouTube growth oftentimes is actually pretty random. Yes, I truly believe luck has something to do with it, but in the sense of a beginner, though. When you're a seasoned YouTuber, you know what you're doing. You've been doing this for years. You know all the tips and tricks and all that. And you have a team and you have people that edit for you and maybe help you with ideas and topics, maybe do research for you. You have a team. It's so much easier for you. At that point, it's a lot of strategy. But usually when you're that big, you already have a big audience. So it's much easier for you. However, for the small ones, the beginners like me, it's hard. It does require some luck, because sometimes small creators could take a video that has been going or a topic that's been going viral, and recreate that topic with their own words and with a similar title and maybe even a somewhat similar thumbnail, but it doesn't get very far. So don't tell me luck doesn't have to do something with it. Fun fact, less than 6% of channels on YouTube are monetized. Yes, and there are millions of channels. Less than 6%. That's about 3 million YouTube channels that are monetized on YouTube. I'm not saying they have millions of followers. They're monetized. It means they have over 4,000 watch hours and over 1,000 subscribers. Whew. And I'm talking about monetized with a YouTube partner program, AdSense, not when you sell courses or you sell digital products or coaching. I'm just saying that's why I'm trying to help myself and stay within my niche as much as possible, so that YouTube can learn about me faster. Because I don't want to be a year from now and still not monetized. That's not going to be fun for me. And it's not just for the monetization, it's also because when you're not getting a lot of reach, you feel discouraged. You feel like you're doing something wrong, and it might not always be easy to know what you're doing wrong. And that's kind of a recipe to give up. Anyway, I've spoken too much, way more than I thought I would. This is like completely unscripted. But hey, my name is Christy. Thank you for watching. If you watched till now, you're a champ. I truly appreciate every one of you. Subscribe if you haven't. Please like and comment. Help my videos get pushed out more. I truly appreciate you. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.